my beautiful beavies, Zombievie here. Have you guys all seen the new Tim Burton film, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children? That title gives me arthritis.
There's something I need to show you.
But you have to promise not to run away.
There's a new world coming.
I saw it a little while ago with my mum, and today I just want to give my thoughts on it. I have a few things to say, so snuggle up, get a bag of peculiar popcorn, and have a listen. So my first impression after walking out of the cinema was... it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was whimsical and colourful and enjoyable and had so much imagination and creativity oozing out the seams. It's based on the novel by Ransom Riggs, which admittedly I haven't read, but credit where it is due. And the movie seems like a really lovely adaptation. I will admit there are some negative-ish aspects about it. It feels very much like one of those movies, you know, a book for young adults turned movie that may have a whole bunch of sequels pop out in the future, you know. Another like Hunger Games or Percy Jackson kind of feel. But you know, in some parts, while it felt like one of those, it still felt unique and like you're watching something different. The characters are almost all great, except for the main fucking character. Jake, played by Asa Butterfield. The kid is fine, I'm sure he's a fine actor on his own, and all these movies have to have that main character, you know? Who find themselves in these situations and serve as kind of a blank slate for you, the viewer, to project yourself on. These characters have to be perplexed by what's going on around them and start off weak and annoying in the beginning and become stronger in the end. That's a given. But this kid is just a blah through the whole thing. With all the amazing magical things happening around him, you know, why did we have to follow him around? He just spent the whole time with a blank expression, like... And some decisions were just underwhelming. Maybe it was the direction, I don't know, but he just didn't stand out to me. And like his dad, I'm not sure if they were trying to say he's a bad dad, because he seemed rather great to me, especially considering he's from the IT crowd. I don't know, is that just me? But anyway, Eva Green as Miss Peregrine. Oh my goodness, Eva. This woman is such a mistress to me. You basic bitches can have the Kardashians as goals. I want this woman. I didn't mean any offense, by the way. Sorry. I obviously loved her in this film. She was spot on. She was the guardian of the peculiar children, and damn did she have a presence in the film. Her acting felt a little stiff at times, but I feel like that's just a character. She's definitely an eccentric. My biggest fault really is that she didn't really get enough screen time. But her naturally, she just has such a gothy appeal that makes her perfect for the role. Getting fucked by demons or being a kind-hearted caregiver to children, she just remains one of the biggest babes to me. The children are all pretty good, all prim and exquisite and fitting the old-fashioned feel of the 40s quite nicely. The girls were wide-eyed, blonde and lovely with that Tim Burton-y feel like he just makes them all in a factory somewhere. I was fond of the little one with the mouth on the back of her head. She didn't say or do much, but I just liked her. And the twins, oh, they were just divine. And yes, you do see their faces, and yes, there's a reason they're covered up. I love it. The boys were actually not that great. One kid had bees and another kid projected his dreams, which themselves aren't that bad, but they just sort of didn't pull it off very well. I wasn't a fan, but luckily they didn't get much screen time. But the character Enoch, I loved him, the sort of angsty, pouting, teenagery member of the peculiar children. He was just cool. His peculiarity is indeed peculiar. He animated objects by putting hearts and organs inside of them, which he just carries around apparently, and then use them like puppetry. Okay, how do you even discover you have that peculiarity for one? But he's still one of my favourites. Why? There's a stop motion animation scene. Yes, I lost my shit when I saw that. I love stop motion animation. Yes, I'm one of those people that does lose a little bit of love when a movie just goes overboard with CG. You know, things that didn't need to be CG'd, when it's just CG everywhere. I'm not real fond of that. I mean, it's fair, it works, but you can just tell, and sometimes it's unnecessary. I can go on a whole nother rant about it, especially if you guys ask me about The Hobbit. But when a film takes advantage of actual practical effects and different techniques, then I just become smitten. Especially with stop motion animation. And then there's the grandpa character played by Terrence Stamp. He was good, of course, he's always good. I remember after the movie, Mum and I were having coffee, and she was like, "So who was that?" And I'm like, "Priscilla, Queen of the Desert," and we're both like, "Oh, yeah, he plays a good woman." And then Samuel L. fucking Jackson. I like him in this movie because it's so obvious he's having so much fun with this role. There's not so much motherfucking, unfucking fortunately, but he still has that loud, preachy appeal that we've all come to love. The villains of the film are actually really cool and rather creepy. They look like something out of a cross between Slender Man and a Tim Burton character, so they're very fitting here. Their goal is to eat the eyes of the peculiar children. They've been going all over the place eating children's eyes. It's actually rather graphic in some parts. You would think something like this would actually be really scary to younger audiences. But I have an explanation that might actually help, and it's a quote from Neil Gaiman, basically. He explained it best when talking about Coraline, which a lot of people think is just a freaky ass fucking film. We are older, you know, us adults, we have a more grown-up worldview on everything around us. And things that are considered scary, whether or not we actually find it scary. You know, like often we look back on movies and think like, wow, that was fucking disturbing. How was I not disturbed as a child? And maybe so, maybe it was scary as children, but a lot of us didn't actually think that back then. Because children generally have a different outlook on things. Things aren't so much scary in a scary sense, but more challenges for the hero to overcome. Like a roller coaster ride, it's thrilling and fun to them, but a lot of us can think like, damn, that's a safety hazard. So keep that in mind when regarding these monsters. I know they are a bit freaky, but it might be applicable. Because the movie is essentially for everyone. I don't want anyone to be put off by these big eye-eating monsters. So the actual plot is in some ways simple. A lot of it does make sense and is really easy to follow. But in some ways, it really fucking lost me. I either need to read the book or watch it again, but I don't know, a lot of it just went over my head. So the home is in a 24-hour loop. If you enter the time loop, you yourself go back to the 1940s. Right. Only peculiars can enter the home, enter the loop. Right. If you leave, ye age and die. But then shit goes down and they all leave and they don't die and they go to like another loop, but it's not a house like I was thinking, and like there's loops all over the place, and like why is it all in the 40s? Like where are they now? What time are they in? Like how are they not dead? What is... Feel free to explain in the comments if you know what's going on, but I don't know, it perplexed my mum and I a bit. There are some scenes that are just so fun and so creative. The visuals and the music and the themes, it all works really well. One of the sort of fight scenes in the third act was really great, and if you're sort of starting to feel a bit bored, it would perk you up, and like, it really is fun. The climax was good. All the children came in and used their peculiarities. It was a fun, children overcoming the scary adults kind of scene. Some moments were either cliche or boring, granted, or didn't live up to obvious build-ups. Like, spoiler warning, there's a kiss at the end between two characters, you know, like you've been waiting for it to happen, but they don't know it's gonna happen, and it's kind of like... And then it happens. Before I finish up here, I would like to address my actual thoughts on the ever weird, ever lovable, yet maybe lost his touch in recent years, Tim Burton. So I was a huge fan for the first bazillion years of my life. I couldn't get enough Tim Burton. I loved them, my personal favourites being Edward Scissorhands and Big Fish. And again, the stop motion animation, oh gosh. It really is my absolute weak spot, and his first ever sort of film was Vincent, voiced by the actual Vincent Price himself. It will always be one of my favourite short films. Go watch it now if you haven't seen it. However, in saying all this, I used to feel this way. In a way, I wouldn't say I've grown out of it necessarily. I still love all those movies, but Tim Burton needed to grow out of Tim Burton. The world is always changing. People are always developing their skills, and people are growing, you know, more attached to different styles in movies and want to see new things. But Tim Burton seemed to be in a niche of filmmaking that he wasn't getting out of anytime soon. His films always had Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. Great actors, yes, but when you come to expect it, it's a bit eh. His style lost that originality and started feeling stale with a trying too hard kind of feel. For me personally, I know a lot of people love the film, but I felt the downfall at Alice in Wonderland. And then again with Dark Shadows. Because in this movie, Miss Peregrine's Home for fucking Children, I feel like Tim Burton is back. It could just be a one-off, who knows, but there's a maturity to the film. It has all the creative aspects that we've grown to love from Tim Burton, and it feels much more new and fresh and exciting compared to all the recent films. I hope I'm not stepping on anyone's toes in saying all this. It is just my opinion, but I really did sort of get this feeling from this movie. So overall, yes, I enjoyed it, and I would recommend it. Take your mum. It's one of the better movies of the year, and I feel like it's been a great year for movies. Like, really fucking good. Let me know your thoughts, everyone. I would love to hear what you have to say, whether you liked it, disliked it. Converse in the comments. It was very mature, very imaginative, very enjoyable, and I hope you guys all watch it and I hope you guys all like it. Thanks for watching everyone. Let me know what you thought of my first film review. I know it was just a lot of babbling and I can't have many, actual scenes from the movie to show you. Thank you all. Bye.